Green means go, Bob. Okay. Good evening and welcome. Nice to see all your smiling faces and one grumpy old face in the back row. You got to take the good with the bad, right? It's a little bit nippy out there tonight, isn't it? I think maybe that's why and for everybody watching on TV, all the wimps that stayed home. Boy, I just made a whole bunch of enemies. But welcome. I'm glad to see you here. Most of you know James Correnti. He's been here several times, and he's so good. We are so unfortunate to have him. We really enjoy his music. To give you a little bit of his background, he went to one of the most prestigious schools on the planet, the Juilliard School of Music in New York City. He is just wonderful. He was a soloist with the Garden State Philharmonic, and he's got all kinds of accolades. And he currently lives in Philadelphia, right?
Right.
Yes. But see, the guy is not only Philadelphia gets a hand. Go Eagles, right? Never mind. He's not only good at what he does, he's pretty bright because he leaves Philadelphia in January to come down here. But the way the weather's going, it ain't much better down here than it is in Philadelphia. But we're glad to have him. He is the director of keyboard activities at Eastern University. Have you guys heard of that? If you're from Philadelphia, no doubt you've heard of Eastern University. Well, he's there. He's one of the directors. And we are so glad to have him here. Please help me welcome James Correnti.
Always such a warm and enthusiastic welcome and introduction. I appreciate that. It actually was equal in temperature when I left Philadelphia. At the end of December, it was 57 there and 57 here when I arrived. And while this is certainly the rainiest it's been during the times I've been in Phoenix, it has gone to single digits in Philadelphia.
And there's more on the way. So
this is shirt sleeve weather for me here.
So I'm sorry to interrupt. I wanted to remind you before he gets started. He's got some CDs on the back table that he has for sale. So when you hear his music, if you want to listen to him when he's not here, you can purchase one of his CDs. There's a bunch of them back there. You can take a look at them. Okay, sir.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to begin today. Actually, it's a piece I had played here not that long ago, but I've been using it this trip, so I thought we'd recycle it back in here. By Jan Sibelius. It's called Finlandia. And this piece has a lot of uses because concert audiences know it well. But church audiences know it too because about halfway through the piece, there's a beautiful melody. Which has certainly a bearing like a hymn, which means, of course, it was borrowed and adopted in hymnals soon after. So now when we sing it as a hymn, often it goes with what set of words? Be still my soul, right. So that's how you may indeed want to think of it and listen to it. When Sibelius wrote it, it was in 1905, and Russia had occupied Finland. And obviously for a native Finn, that was not a happy situation at all. So the piece opens with thunder and lightning. It opens with a very dark kind of sound. And then it's almost as if the troops begin to arrive, and you can hear that. So the whole first part of it is filled with that conflict. But then it kind of comes to a halt, and the storm clouds subside, and this melody comes in. And it was sort of the ray of hope that he wanted to shine forth for his people during a time of depression. And hopefully you will enjoy it. And of course, for the people of God, in the deepest distress, we can say, "Be still, my soul, the Lord is on thy side." Thank you. One more piece by Sibelius, and this one is known as Valse Triste. If you translate that into English, what do you get? Valse Triste. Well, valse, of course, is waltz, and triste means sad. Well, that's an unexpected title. Of all the things you are suspecting waltzes would be, usually sad is not on the short list. But the story behind it has to do with a young dancer with a career filled with promise in the ballet, and then stricken with a disease that is taking her strength. Sometimes she has those good days, and you would think that she's going to beat it and go on forever, and then other times it's very clear that the end is near. So the piece opens with a genuinely sad melody, and then sometimes just opens up and just whirls, and then comes to a complete stop. There's no other waltz quite like it, but I think the story behind it explains it. In a number of my programs here, I've just resorted to the hymnal and played through a variety of hymns, just for your own meditation, your own contemplation. And I've chosen the area of consecration tonight. So here are some hymns if you just want to close your eyes, or if you want to hum along as you think about the words. However it best suits you, you're welcome to do it. Very often, different retirement communities want me to do a lot of songs of a more popular nature, and I've worked on a number of medleys of these, and I'm always looking for new ways of coming at the subject. I don't want to play the same group of songs every time when I come back to a place. So I try to make sure there's a theme, and I know from here we've done some things from different eras, some songs from movies, things like that. Not too long ago, I was at a library sale and was delighted because you don't often find a lot of good sheet music there, but this particular one, I had a nice stack of it, put it aside, and then as I was going through it, before I was making my final decisions, you always check to make sure all the pages are there and they're not scribbled on and that kind of thing. I came across this one in the stack, and I thought, maybe not. And then I thought, yeah, but paperbacks are only 50 cents. So I decided to get it anyhow. Broadway musicals, 1917 to 1929. My hesitation being, of course, who'd remember any of this? So, but again, I made my purchase, and when I brought it home, it ended up in a stack somewhere. Periodically, I go through those and pull out different books just to peruse. I often will have a nice stack in the car, and when I'm on a concert tour and heading out to dinner somewhere, I'll just grab one of the books, take it into dinner, and read through it and listen to what I'm hearing and have a good time with it. And anyhow, so I brought this one in, and I couldn't believe it. The majority of the songs in it I knew. I grew up with them. So maybe you did too. We'll see how many of these you remember is the point. And we're going to start with a musical from 1917 called Maytime. Now, it became a movie in the 30s, and I think that's where a lot of people got to know it. Included this song. Anybody remember that one? What's the title? Title? Sweetheart, yeah. Is there a voice you associate with it? Jeanette MacDonald? Nelson Eddy, there you go. Okay, from the Ziegfeld Follies of 1919. How about a title on that? Pretty Girl is like a melody. Remember who wrote it? A fellow named Irving Berlin. Okay, Jerome Kern, a musical in 1920 called Sally. Now we're looking for The Silver Lining. A lot of songs about ladies. Here's one about a guy, so I better include it. There are not many of them. And 1921, Shuffle Along was the musical. Just wild about Harry. Okay, Ziegfeld Follies of 1921 included this one. Has made a comeback more recently in a recording by a contemporary singer. Her name is Secondhand Rose, and more recently recorded by Barbara Streisand. Yeah. Now, my mom would say you got to include this next one. 1924, Rosemarie was the musical. How about that? What's the title? That's The Indian Love Call. And of course, some people remember it by the first line, I am calling you, ooh, 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 ooh. Again, the singers, Nelson Eddy and Jeanette MacDonald. I know my mom had a stack like that of 78s of Nelson Eddy. Okay, the Gershwins were writing. Lady Be Good, 1924. it's known as Fascinating Rhythm. Okay, let's see. 24 was a good year for musicals. It's the same year that a musical called No No Nanette was produced. Includes this song. About a Gershwin musical called OK, which had this particular song. It's a beautiful song. Someone to watch over me. All right, there's a lot. Well, we can't do them all. Let's see. How about, I like this one. And I'm surprised, somehow it's never come up in a request time in 15 or 20 years I've been doing that. Because I remember hearing this song growing up. 1927, the musical was called Good News. The best things in life are free. And we're doing the varsity drag, whatever that means. Okay, let's see. Time is moving on here. Let's move on to 1927. And Jerome Kern apparently changed the whole course of musicals history when he wrote Showboat. Only make believe. Can't help loving that man. Just a few more from the Blackbirds of 1928. I can't give you anything but love. Let's see, got to do this one. This is a fun one. Hold Everything was the name of the musical in 1928. You're the cream in my coffee. It's such a unique love letter. You're the cream in my coffee. You're the salt in my stew. You're the starch in my collar. You're the lace in my shoe. Now, how many of you on Valentine's Day ever had anything as beautiful as that? You're the sail of my love boat. You're the captain and crew. You will always be my necessity. I'd be lost without you. Well, that's a nice song in its own way, isn't it? We'll do just one more from a 28 musical called Follow Through. Wrong key. Button up your overcoat. Take good care of yourself. You belong to me. Anyhow, by the time I'd gotten to the end of the book, I thought, well, I think I got my 50 cents out of it. And it's amazing. A number of these songs I haven't heard in years. A number of them I haven't found in other books. And it was just really fun to rediscover them. I hope you enjoyed listening to them. Now, we've got some time left, and I always like to leave a little time at the end for requests. So, some people really wanted to hear some more Chopin. Some wanted more hymns. So, somebody wants something from an opera. I never know where we're going with this. But let's turn it over to you and see what happens. Okay. A march. Oh, sure. Okay. There's a march and Mozart. little bit of Mozart. Okay. And? Autumn Leaves. Oh, sure. Okay. Well, with the help from Roger Williams. And oh, Dr. Zhivago, yes, okay. Yes. All right, well, that's a good way to close, isn't it?
James Correnti. Thank you, James. That's really, really good. I don't know about you, but every time James comes, it's the fastest hour. I look up at the clock, and it's already 7 o'clock, and I said, where'd the time go? It was totally enjoyable. I'm so glad you guys came, and those of you who are watching on Channel 4, thank you for tuning in. And you really aren't wimps, okay? I understand that you can't always get out, and I'm glad we have Channel 4, and I'm glad you watch on Channel 4. Speaking of Channel 4, how about that for a segue? Tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, we've got the daily devotions. Immediately following daily devotions is Getting to Know You. Tomorrow's edition will feature Barbara Anderson. She'll be featured on Getting to Know You. Again, it goes on immediately after daily devotions. And then it's going to be kind of a quiet week, but we've got a real special treat for those of you who want to participate. Friday, have you seen the flyers about Organ Stop Pizza? How many of you have been to Organ Stop Pizza? Most of you have, so you know what a fun trip that is with that incredible organ at Organ Stop Pizza. We're going to do it again Friday. We leave here at 9:45. So if you want to go, get a hold of Debbie, the concierge, and get your name on the list. The cost is $10, but it's the best $10 you ever spent in your entire life. We will be leaving Friday at 9:45. It takes about an hour to get there. And by the time everybody gets in and gets seated, it'll be lunchtime, believe me. So it'll be fun. It is the pizza's good and the music is incredible at Organ Stop Pizza. And then back here Friday night at 6 o'clock, we're going to get a little silly with a guy that calls himself Lenny Lazard. He's going to be presenting some comedy and music for you on Friday night here in the auditorium. That starts at 6 o'clock. If you want, on your way out, please stop and say hello to James. He's got some CDs that are for sale, or you can just stop and say hello. I'm sure he'd be glad to see you. So thank you for coming, and you be careful going home. Again, everybody on Channel 4 that tuned in, thank you for watching. Have a good evening.